G. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Ran off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going on track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his hit.
What is up? Bryce has left the building.
We lose Bryce,
and he's gone forever. Boom, gone forever.
His Wi-Fi just went out.
Oh, damn Wi-Fi! He's got to pay that bill. Got to pay that bill, homie. AT&T or whoever the hell you use for Wi-Fi. He's back. Wi-Fi or non-Wi-Fi?
We had a little Wi-Fi outage.
Hey, let's go. We're in the bear apparently still with Wi-Fi. So it's Wednesday, of course, and there is a lot to talk about. To be honest with you, tonight's show primarily will be focused on the upcoming NFT NYC and kind of our thoughts on what that's going to look like, because it's very different than when we were all picking up these awesome white hoodies, which is one of my favorite Yuga merch pieces. And also just some things that we, a couple things that we see that are going well for Yuga, and some stuff that we think are just like absolute easy tap in birdies that I'm not sure why it's not happening yet, to be honest. And Spicy Phil for the first time ever, not sure. We'll see where it goes. Shout out to Alien Friends and Sean. He sent me this sick hat of the Alien Friends and a couple other stuffed animals, their whatever plushies for my kids. So I had to rock this on stream as well, but wanted to throw it back because we're kind of looking forward to NFT NYC. I will not be attending, but we're still going to talk about it. Gentlemen, Bryce, besides the Wi-Fi, how are you feeling today?
So it's been a good day. Good day.
What about the last week? Good week?
Yeah, pretty good week. Will and I've been pretty balls deep in Blast, and so they distributed their Blast Gold recently. So that's been a nice little morale boost.
Morale boosting. We like that. We love the morale boost. I love the nice hat you have there, my friend.
Appreciate you.
Hat for the Bryce today.
Good little bean pouch on the side.
Little bean pouch. And Mr. Will, of course, you're farming all the things, but how are you this past week, good sir?
Yeah. I have had like a crazy long week, and I'm exhausted, to put it simply. Just trying to cram so much information into my head outside of work that it's like as soon as the clock rolls over, I know that sounds super shitty, like bleh, but it's true. As soon as the clock rolls over, it's like, all right, done with work, full send for the rest of the full send for the rest of the day, trying to keep up with what the hell's going on in this space. So
yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I think that's anybody that has a normal job is what I'll say, because obviously there's people working here in the space, but for those of us that get out of our house and go to some other place to work, man, it feels like it's just nonstop. Basically at all hours, at all minutes, you could be doing something, and just deciding how you use that time, I think is imperative. So interesting times for sure.
How's your week been, Phil?
I would say pretty good.
Good job, Phil. Keep it up.
Tenacious with that goddamn puppet. No, it's been good. It's been good. I would say real life pretty fast. And so full transparency, my energy here, I've taken a couple steps back. I'll be straightforward, because without the BAYC council thing, I just wanted to take a step back and reevaluate my time and energy to all things. And I mean, obviously you guys know this, but I think anybody that knows me at all knows that I've basically been like Yuga Labs maxi to the max for a long time. And not that I've changed that, but I want to make sure that I'm protecting my energy too, because otherwise you burn it off at two ends and all of a sudden you run out of yourself. So I felt like I was going that way. So again, I've got some thoughts on that and some things that I think Yuga could definitely do better. And some these are simple things, nothing crazy, no mind bending ideas, but things to just be on the timeline. Because I think actually the most important thing in the space is just to be present and to be seen. That's for projects, that's for protocols, that's for, I mean, obviously for content creator as well. But I think projects that are able to keep your attention are, I mean, really that's the economy. It's an attention economy more than anything, to be fair, because sometimes the outcome of whatever that is that you gain the attention doesn't actually matter if it hits. Of course, if it hits it, you get even more attention, but it's actually just getting the people's attention because there's a million things happening. You just said it, 10 million miles an hour, Justin says. So if you cannot get a little glimpse of those eyeballs, you become irrelevant relatively quick. And I'm not saying that's Yuga Labs at all. I'm not even saying that's close to that, but it can happen really, really fast if you don't become present. And that does not mean, if you know me, if you've watched the show ever, I'm not saying, oh my God, I need 75 activations tomorrow. I'm a boomer. Like I'm pretty like easygoing. I don't need a whole lot. But I do need just some information, some communication, and just some excitement of what you're building. Nothing new. I don't need, man, if you want to do new stuff too, that's cool. But I don't need new to fill my cup. I just need to see what you're doing. Otherwise, like if I'm being just honest, it's hard to know what the fuck you're doing. Like it's hard to know. And then you're just guessing, which is not fun. Again, don't need to know every step, but little pull back the curtain occasionally, it does wonders. And it's such an easy thing to do. And we'll talk a little bit about one of those things right now. So about 5 days ago, they put out and used the articles feature on the old Twitter, which I thought was interesting. We hadn't seen them use that before. Not sure if we love that, we hate that, or I don't know, we're somewhere in between. I guess I don't necessarily care, but I found it interesting just because they had been doing this all through this blog, and this was obviously outside of that. So as we look at the other side, 1 second, there we go. The Apes Come Home, BTS, the Coda camera. So these are the types of things, honestly, that like as a holder of Yuga Labs, these are the things I like to see. This is such easy content that gives you a little bit of information and a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. There's nothing mind-blowing about this. Nothing mind-blowing about it. But seeing this in the little bit of information they shared here with the little video, with the information, that to me is like the easiest thing to be on the timeline and have people talking about it. Will, what are your thoughts on this article? Again, nothing mind-blowing, but what's your just quick takeaway on this?
Yeah, I glanced it. I didn't read through it. I definitely like I like the concept, but at this moment in time, like I did not dive into this because it was not the middle of the bear market anymore. So I would have ate this shit up if we were just, kicking stuff around. But yeah, no, it's super cool. I like the behind the scenes look. It clearly shows that there's a lot of shit that goes into this, right? To make that Codaphone. They can change the name later if they choose to. I think Codaphone, Phil, you coined that one, so
yeah, let's go.
It's a good one.
No, yeah, I mean it's cool. I like the peek behind the curtain. And we kind of got some of the Spaces talks as well, kind of following this event, which I feel like is important, right?
Yep.
It just like people are building something, but like there was almost no sense of like, wow, I feel really confident behind the people who are building said thing, right? It's like one of those things, like when we talked with Danny Green when he was part of the Meebits team, like you felt like really confident about Meebits because it was like, yo, Danny's crushing it. Like,
yep.
I'm like hearing Danny, he's saying things that I'm like, for the direction of Meebits, I was like, this is awesome. Like, I love this. I want to, I have, like I'm putting my faith in you to deliver for Meebits because what you're telling me, like, I don't know, you just get behind, you back somebody and then you're like, oh yeah, I'd get behind that person.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, you're working on Meebits? Like, cool. I'm going to pick up Meebits and I'm going to back Meebits to back you, whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. 100%.
We don't have that for Otherside at all, or very little.
Yeah, no, I would think Eric Reed, talking with us and us being able to host them after that was great. And then Dim being able to have him on like a week or so later, I think that was great.
100%.
So I think when they actually are present in spaces or if it's a stream or I mean, it could be anything. It could be an article occasionally too, if they want to, mix it up, that's fair. I think if they do that even, twice a month, even just to have and it doesn't have to be that you fucking create the Mona Lisa and the other side, but like actually getting to know the human does make a difference, truly. Because I think what you'll find is all those dudes working on other side, like I really do believe that obviously they're fucking talented individuals. They're not idiots, right? Like that's like, come on, like that's duh, of course. But if you don't get to hear from them, if you never see, any information from them, you never get to hear them talk, speak on video spaces, whatever. And that's where people are, by the way. We're here, we're on YouTube, we're on X. These are the places that we frequent, Farcast or wherever you are. If you're not meeting the people there, they might think you're an idiot, even though that's false because they've never heard you talk. They don't know what you're about and they don't know where you came from. So this is, again, another one of those, like, I think the biggest thing as I've, sat back over the last few weeks specifically is just, again, it doesn't have to be every day. I'm not asking for that. That's ridiculous. But having some more presence on the timeline, I think would do wonders. And again, it's not because we want 75 new activations, but if you can tell us a little bit about the team, like, can you imagine a really well done video series on team members? You know how fucking good that would go? You know how that would slap so fucking
Or even if
hard.
like the Codaphone, that article was in like video format,
sure,
would hit way harder.
Yeah. And so like to me, yeah, I know that's a lot of work. I know that. But like I would love like the little 5 minute of here's Jeff Nicholas and you get to know a little bit more about Jeff. And here's Illa. I mean, obviously we know these people, but if you get to see kind of what they do on a day-to-day, not specific to Yuga, just mean the way, them living their life, being a fucking human. Man, if they did that and those are things that were dropped on a fairly consistent basis, like to me, we're in. Like we're in like Flynn because again, you get to know the team. You see that, they're busting their ass. And again, they're not, I've said this 1,000 times, but it's the hard knocks of HBO with the NFL, how they give you this peek behind. You get to know the players. You get to know the coaches. They're not giving you the playbook. They're not telling you the fucking game plan before the game, but you feel so much more connected to them. And there might be a team you don't even give a shit about. And all of a sudden you find yourself rooting for these dudes simply because you got to know about them. That to me is like such an easy win. Yeah. I know it's work, but like if they put a little energy into that, again, the podcast, I think Will, you talked about it maybe last week, the podcast, the fucking Metaverse podcast, that thing was awesome. Like that was freaking awesome. And
I want them to bring that back so badly.
And that was obvious that was a Gordon thing for sure, because as soon as, he had to step back, that's when it was gonzo. And so it'd be interesting to see if someone else maybe steps up to that plate and, takes that under their wing a bit from the team. Or if Gordon comes back and just focuses on that. But that type of thing, even that's exactly what we're talking about. The fucking metaverse was doing exactly what we're just talking about. They're missing that element. And so the thing is, if you don't have a fairly consistent presence on the timeline, if you don't have, here's what I'll say, Illa does a really good job of being in spaces. Like he's in a lot of spaces in different communities. He's talking, he's up on stage, he's talking and all that. But occasionally I'd love to see more talk specific to Yuga, not just shooting the shit about whatever life. And again, that doesn't mean you have to tell us everything you're doing and more and all the secrets behind the curtain. But if we just get to know you a little bit more, if you put out some of these team members in situations where maybe they only come on to an open space for 20 minutes, but at least they're available, right? At least you can ask them some silly questions. I mean, you can ask them what their favorite color is. That's better than nothing. That's where I think, at the end of the day, what I'll say, and then we can push forward. We'll talk about NFT NYC. At the end of the day, I feel like we're patient motherfuckers. Like shit. At this point, if we haven't proven our patience, I don't know how else I can do it. Like, to be fair. And I'll still be patient. But at some point, can you just give us a little bit more something information driven? And that, again, you're not hearing out of my mouth that I need other things. Do what you're doing now. And again, the board meeting, A+ idea. Love it. Love that we're doing that monthly. Do that for Otherside, please. Do that for Yuga Labs Gaming once Dookie Dash starts rolling, right? Like these are things that are easy wins. And then do some video series. Just try it. I promise you motherfuckers will gobble that shit up. You've seen Azuki do it. Just with freaking Zagabon the other day. They had the little 2-part, interview thing. And then before that, they did their Elementals thing. Like, and there's other companies that, have done video that's done really well every time. I would just suggest it.
It matters.
Yeah.
It does.
It matters. And so at the end of the day, that is something that they can do really well, guaranteed. I know they can do it well. And it would be the easiest of wins. I'm going to stop preaching. Bryce, any takeaways? I know obviously y'all have been kind of, rocking the Azuki here for a minute. Obviously the token drop was finally announced. I mean, that was everyone, obviously that was coming. We knew that was coming. And so, advantages to them 100%. They got to do it a year later, right? Or whatever, however long later. Like that's a massive thing for them. Cause now they've seen what doesn't work, right? Or at least some things that are like, this does not work. Don't do this. Boom, boom, boom. Let's make sure we have our ducks in a row. I think that's a massive advantage to them. That's not a versus thing. I just mean like for them specifically as an outlier, I think that's really good for the token. So what's your takeaway from, anything I said? I felt like I was preaching for a second. So
no, I think a lot of what you said is pretty damn valid. Where we need that bit of communication. That's one thing that I think Azuki recently has done really well. Kind of peeling back the curtain, showing us the videos on their Elementals, and then Zagabon's doing a bunch of interviews that have been releasing lately. So we're just seeing the Azuki team on the timeline, hearing more about their vision, what's cooking for Azuki. So it's almost like they're doing everything that you want Yuga to do, but they're doing it pretty well. So, anywho, yeah, I agree. It's one of those. I think Yuga's still in the position where they're not, their feet aren't quite settled. They're still like kind of need to in a make it back season. They kind of need to prove themselves to change sentiment a good bit, and who knows how that'll happen.
This is going to sound outlandish, but I'm going to fucking say it. I'm always like, these things that we talk about, I feel like, I know it's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know fucking producing a really quality video, a lot of work. But I also sit there, I'm like, holy shit, how many people do we have on the Yuga Labs team? Like how many people are dedicated to what thing? Because obviously Otherside has got to be the majority of those people, right? Like, is that what we assume, right?
Say that again?
Otherside's got to be the biggest majority of the employees, right?
Got to be.
So like, I'm just curious at how many people are focused on just like, the marketing side in a way, right? Like, because that's what this is in essence, is like marketing, and I don't know, like it just feels like there's nobody doing it, which is the weirdest thing ever. Like it's just an odd place to be. Obviously Dookie Dash is coming. I know there's a lot of shit happening. That's the thing. Like I know there's a lot of shit happening, but like, okay, Dookie Dash, why couldn't we have done a fucking little video for that like showed the fucking testing of it with the with the builders and shit? And again, you're not giving anything away, but you're telling me a 5 to 10 minute video with Spencer and the Yuga Labs gaming crew talking about it wouldn't fucking hit? Come on.
100%.
Like that would fucking hit so hard. And so I don't know. I'm lost.
I'm going to add to that. I was listening to Spencer today.
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't even know the space was happening.
It was
J-Bon space.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I didn't listen to it.
Yeah. They're cooking something up.
Yeah. Cooking pancakes, bro.
I don't know. Was it pancakes? I don't even remember what it was, but it was something. They were cooking something. Yeah, I didn't get to listen to much because I was had like one AirPod in. I was walking between buildings while I was at work, just listening. And the one thing that he said that I thought, like really caught my attention was just like, oh yeah, they were saying that Dookie Dash surprised them. And it was the most like the viral aspect was something that caught them off guard. And they weren't necessarily anticipating to have like these Fortnite streamers come in and like pick up Dookie Dash and, run with it. Right. And so I don't know. It was just kind of interesting to just like hear that. Right. Like just to like They're like, okay, well, I mean, at least I know where your head's at, right? Like, so y'all went to the drawing board. Y'all said, wait, this actually worked. And then you brought it back and you're like, all right, cool. We're going to like repackage this and like make it mainstream ready. Right. And like, that's totally valid, but it's like, it's almost like he's saying all the right things, but it's like I don't know how many people were in the space, but I don't know how many people actually heard it, but it's like, it's not being like sent out like massively. Right. And I agree. If it had been like a hype video or whatever, and it kind of included some of those, not even like necessarily a full on hype video, but like, like some kind of thing, just like, kind of like the preparing for launch of Dookie Dash. And it's just,
I feel like there should always be rolling video. Like, that's my feeling, is like, why aren't you just videoing every goddamn thing you do? That doesn't mean you're going to tell us anything. You know how easy it is to blur shit out, whatever. Like, do it in house. I don't give a shit. It can be low fucking, can be off your goddamn phone, for Christ's sake.
I mean, that goes back to like the pudgy penguins building in public, right? Isn't that exactly what Luca did? Right? They just had cameras on the whole fucking time that they were doing their Walmart launch, and then put together a sick video where everybody got to see just how much work and effort went into shipping that.
Yep. I just think, again, this is not from a hate standpoint. It's from the opposite. It's actually from a massive love standpoint. That is the thing that, like, you want to capture attention, you can do that very easily with a few pulls of the string and roll. Just put your goddamn newest iPhone on a tripod and just push record and let them MF or just cook, and then see what you come up with. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's just an easy win. That's all I'm going to say. And then on that note, BAYC Council, I'm hoping that's what they do too. Not that they're going to have the inside scoop. That's not it at all. They're obviously not like on site, recording from, here's the BAYC Council recording from the fucking workstation. But I do think what I'm looking forward to and hoping is that the BAYC Council is just more present in general. And that does, and the thing is, they do have the connection to Yuga Labs directly. And so having spaces with these people, I mean, that's easy to do. Like, they're having these conversations where you can have it where it's like, hey, once a month, twice a month, we're going to have one. It doesn't matter who the team members, just come through. Let's talk and have it on a space and do whatever. I don't care. That's what I'm hoping to see. Cause it's just, there's not enough. Like, we love doing this, freaking Nana with Otherspace loves doing it. Justin OG loves doing, we all love doing this shit for Yuga, but like, we also want to see from the official team. Like, can we please get some, or even semi-official with BAYC Council? It's still an official, like, sort of partner, right? Like, that's what we want to see it from them too. Content matters. Like, at the end of the day, content really matters. And if you have none, you've lost the plot, to be honest with you, because no matter how amazing your thing is, people won't care when it gets there if you haven't told them about the story as you go. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you're almost like you're in a parallel of like a similar thought that I had earlier, and I was talking with Bryce about this. Obviously, big exciting day for Azuki launching Anime Chain. They're going to be, building out their IP and story and etc. and launching, I guess, some interesting avenues of like interaction with that content on their Arbitrum chain. So the thing that I was kind of going off of when thinking about like story and like lore, etc., I'm like, I was telling Bryce earlier, I was like, man, we're like 3 years in
with no fucking lore,
and there's like there's no official lore. Like, there's no like real good solid storyline of, I mean, there's, okay, don't get me wrong, there's storylines and there's paths you can go down, but like, it just feels like there should be, like you should just have like so much like rich and juicy OG BAYC lore to just like, that's like displayed in like animations, displayed in comic strips, displayed in whatever, right? I mean, like, you get bits and pieces of that like when they launch a product, right? We got some bits and pieces of that when they launched Heavy Metal, but it's like, it's so fragmented that it's like you can't actually like really absorb it, I guess, is kind of what I'm saying.
Well, they kind of blue-balled us, because every time we see one of those dope videos, we're like, holy shit, is this like part of it? And then it like turned into absolutely nothing. And it was like that video was just like a standalone. That's all it was.
We need the stories,
We need the
right?
stories. And I like I understand what they were saying.
Who is the character? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just so confusing because you're right. What you were saying is right. That's fucking mind numbing to me though, because that's what they're fucking like. That's literally what the whole thing is. Why it started.
And like I get them saying, oh, well, they didn't want to do lore to leave it kind of up to the community to do their lore, but like I totally disagree with that. They should have had like the backbone story of push an
here's
official how we got here, and here's what the fuck apes are, and then like allow everybody else to build out their lore on top of that. But there should be that backbone story of like this is the BAYC origin story.
And it feels like they have, again, like you said, little fragmented pieces. Like, why in the world can't Curtis and Blue and all of these MFers have a bigger and more deep storyline? Like, I don't get it. It's right fucking there. Like, that's all you need. You need those two characters, and then if you want to, you know, work with holders, and I know that's something that's already been done. Like, of course, duh. But like, how just focus on fucking Curtis and focus on Blue and tie them together a little bit and throw some Kodomars in there and ask a couple apes and mutants if they want to be. Come on now. Like this, I'm just confused. That's the only thing. I'm so confused because, man, if all you did is you created great storyline, that was a slow drip, but it was good every time it hit. But it was way faster than this slow drip that we're on right now, which is like basically a no drip. Okay. And you got the culture through the video and the content you create. Man, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to fucking do. Do it the best. If you do those two things the best, that's all you need. And collaborations.
Yeah. And we could just take like short little 5-10 minute clips, right? Like how they created for the that Otherside trailer with Blue running off and drinking the juice or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like that was beautiful, but we need more of that.
Yeah.
So again, like this is all out of love and trying to understand how do you have these banger videos, one-offs, and then there's nothing for months.
Makes me wonder. I'm like, were those videos like contracted? Were those like Yuga employees that were making those videos, or did they like hire somebody to like, hey, come in, help us create this idea of a video, and then like, see you later?
I think some of both, probably. To be honest with you, like I'm sure you're contracting some of that work out. Like to be fair, like I'm sure obviously they have art directors and things on staff, but like for video, I don't know, maybe in collaboration. But again, like, man, that's
and then if they created like a little lore story and then gave us the behind the scenes of how they created that lore story, like people would just eat that shit up.
Yeah. So I'm just a little confused. That's all. And I think that's fair to say. Like, doesn't mean I know I did a clickbait title with our thing. I said, are we going to zero? We're not going to zero, but like,
we might.
Fuck. I don't know. We're not going to zero. But and it actually has zero to do with floor price for me right now with what I'm talking about. It has zero to do with that. But you can just tell the interest is less across the space.
And I was going to say, I mean, I could definitely tell the last little bit that it's like, you're like looking for like some kind of like glimmer of hope, and personally, I feel like we have no spark right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, what I will say is, and this is fair, by the way, what I'm about to say is cool. I'm not mad about it. Majority of the space is on to the next narrative to hopefully sell for whatever and flip. That's a large portion of the space still, and that's fine, by the way. That's great. I want people to make fucking cash money, but you're right. There's no like wonderment of what's not even for a flip, just like drawn into the conversation or the video or the information that they release. It's so minimal now,
dude. So like when you like think about like right when they first started, right, they randomly launched dogs right on our heads, and like everyone was like, yo, what the fuck, like this is insane, this is crazy, this is awesome, right? Like we yum that up, and then, you know, there was excitement. There were like that kind of, I mean, for me, that was part of it. I was like, oh, I didn't realize I could like get something else from having this. Not that it's all about getting something else, but it was like the sense of like it like put so much energy into the collection when they dropped that. And then, you know, I don't know. I just feel like in terms of like a battery, like, you know, we started small and then it like got charged up a lot. And now we're just like trying to figure out how much of the remaining juice can we extract by just pushing it out every single day to the point where we have no more energized batteries and we just need a little bit of like a little, you know, it was a little something, right? I mean, Garga mentioned what was it, redacted crypto native platform, something or another, and I'm like, what is that? That means nothing to me right now, right? I mean, like you mentioned it, cool, but like you have like 16 other fires you're trying to put out, and I'm just wondering, I'm like, what's going on, right? I don't know.
I mean, I like the idea of that. Like, if it was something that was actually native, like I actually like that. Not for like, it would obviously depend on what it is, but I mean, there's a lot of avenues where that could be really, really cool and dope. Just again for a Web3 centric, because I actually think they lost that feel and prop a while ago. Was like
I'd like to think we're not entitled here, but you know, appreciate
short
it.
side. I just want to say, homie, I was here the entire fucking bear market. Showed up every Wednesday with these fellas right here, and like we literally were positive throughout the entire bear market. We tried to, you know, put positive spins on things time and time again. But it's like, you know, there's I can only take so much before it starts to erode away. And you're like, man, I backed Yuga a bunch of different times. I went in and I tried to like, you know, make the best of heavy metal. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Like I'm going to try and, you know, spice it up, make content, etc. With they put something out, I'm going to use whatever I can. I literally was making like tutorial videos on how to like, you know, make a max hit with your heavy metal or something like that. And that was just like poking around, just seeing like what mechanics like heavy metal was like capable of. And this is in the midst of like everybody crying about, oh my God, this vote for
so
vote
boring.
sucks,
This was the
and blah,
dumbest
blah,
game
blah.
ever.
And then, you know, I don't know. And then, okay, so what happened there? You turn the corner and then like you don't even actually have like any RNG aspect to how you defeat these monsters. It's all cookie cutter, copy paste. Like if you know the formula, then you can literally defeat it every time. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like, that's just one example, but I don't know. I tried to keep very, very long-sighted approach to, or, you know, set my sights further out than just like what's tomorrow.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's easy lately to just blame the holders and be like, oh, it's all these ape holders are stupid and just crybabies. When I think the reality is, obviously, there are definitely a lot that are, you know, short-sighted. Give me money. I want airdrops. I want price to go up tomorrow. And if it doesn't go up, I'm going to complain. But I think, yeah, the majority of it is people are just now tired. Other projects are shipping exactly what they said they would and like pretty quality stuff. And doesn't really feel that way for Yuga.
And even after saying all of this, and I agree with, I mean, obviously we talked before this, we've been talking, I mean, fucking ad nauseum and DMs about these sentiment. Even after all that, I'm still like, maybe I'm just sick as hell in the head. I'm still not like super drawn to like a bunch of other things. Like I'm just not. That doesn't mean that they're not doing cool shit. Like, but me personally, I'm still just like, I'm almost like I'd rather, it's either I, you know, obviously still rock Yuga. I'm still not going anywhere, but it's hard for me to like pivot to something else. It just is, because I keep thinking like what is it for? Not for me, maybe, right? Like it's going to be awesome. It's going to be dope and I'll watch and applaud it, but it's still not something that's drawing me in. And again, it's probably because I'm sick. Because again, everything we're saying, dude, I'm frustrated. I should have put that. I shouldn't have put bored. I should have been fucking frustrated. And this is from me, the fucking most positive MFer, or at least one of them, one of the most positive MFers on the timeline. I bet, hey, listen, don't talk to me about being a whatever, because I've gone in these massive fucking spaces with 1,000 listeners, the leap spaces type things, when they've been shitting on apes And guess whose dumbass has gone up there and fucking rode for the apes hard? Me, every fucking time. That's me. Going in every fucking big space, not because I had to, because I felt like it, because I'd go up there and I'd try to, because a lot of the times it was misinformation, and I would try to help them understand the information. So fuck me, right? Some of it is holders. Sure. That's in every project, I would say. Like there's never going to be 100% every holder's, great and really supportive and willing to look further. But I mean, you got to put the fucking ball in play, my guy. Like I just had a baseball game, went to 11:30. I coached high school baseball. If you don't put the fucking ball in play, you can't win. You can't win. If you do not put the ball in play, at least take a fucking swing, you can't play. You can't win.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't know. We'll see. Again, other side, they should have been more upfront, and we were fucking idiots for it, but more upfront about what that timeline looked like. Like that's 100% fair.
No. I mean, yes. Other side timeline, yes, okay. But like, if you want to dive into LOTM, bro.
Yeah, let's go.
I've been blah, blah, blah. I got some words to say about that shit, right? Like, god dang, bro. Oh, friends are coming. Boom. Oh,
hey, we've got this
fighting back. Boom.
Oh, we've got this third unlock for Kodas.
Boom. Like, I get things change, but like, holy shit, talk about just like empty promises.
They literally,
or if that's even what you want to call them. I don't know. I mean, I get it. Eye Candy was not the right partner, etc. Yada yada. It's gonna change. Cool. But like, dang, you could have at least just said earlier instead of, oh, next season, this is coming. Like, fuck, if just like pull the air out of the sail already. If it's not going to happen, don't like let it just like trickle on. Oh, and then we're at the third and final season of the beta. And like, we didn't even know hell there was going to be 3 seasons of the beta. I don't know. There's just so many things about the LOTM experience that just grinds my gears. And it's just very frustrating.
And then
I log in every fucking day.
And then on top of that, right, they're gonna completely change the game or like not deliver on what they said. But then they're also going to restrict you from a shit ton of liquidity on your assets and make it like completely untradeable on Magic Eden. Nice.
I did see a tweet.
That's the way, though. This is how number go up.
Hold on. I actually had a tweet.
Remove liquidity.
I wish I could find, but I can't right now. But it was from Spencer's, not Tucker. Spencer, another Spencer that works for, was it Arbitrum who won the Ape Chain thing? Whoever won the Ape Chain thing. Arbitrum? Is that Arbitrum? I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
But he tweeted something about like basically information on Ape Chain coming, and then a guy from Yuga Labs that I follow, a good follow, James Hall, I think is his name, works for Yuga. He had like the chef's hat on cooking, so that gave me maybe I don't know, maybe there's something coming on in L2 soonish. I know it's soonish. I want to go to this comment really quick because this is exactly how I feel. I just want them to drive value and attention to BAYC. Everything else is fluff to me. That's how I've always felt. I still like the games. I still like Otherside. I think that's going to be fun. And they're commanding less of the attention. They just are. They just are. I'm not sure how you get that back, but you got to be present. Shit, you can't just be hiding behind a fucking curtain all day. That sure as shit isn't going to work. Yeah, Legends of the Mara. I'm still playing it. I'm just trying to get Catalyst because I want to feed them to my freaking Maras. You know,
I got my first one finally.
Let's go.
1 for 6.
Let's go.
We take it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Yuga is betting their entire business on that. I mean, I don't think they didn't educate ape holders on that. I think they've been clear. Like, Otherside is their main focus, and they clearly showed that when they folded up shop for Meebit's team and some of the 10KTF team, and they said, y'all are going in the Otherside umbrella, right? Yep. I mean, and that was brutal for like, if you were a big Otherside, if you were a big 10KTF fan, did I say Otherside? I don't know. I meant 10KTF. If you were a big 10KTF fan, man, that community was like,
It was very
Rattle,
vibrant.
rattle.
Yeah, and it was very vibrant community it felt like it kind of got its light, like candle blown out, sort of. That's what it felt like. So I don't know. Like, no, I think we know that Otherside's a massive, like that part I think we understood, right? Like, and they've said that. Like, I feel like they've been pretty upfront about how this is obviously a massive endeavor. They haven't ever said it was going to be some easy shit that, like, you know, just a free throw. But I still would say, I think it's funny because we're gonna go around in a circle now. I think it actually all just comes down to just attention. Like, you got to be present, and like it doesn't have to be craziness every day at all. Now, if you want to do some degen stuff and throw out a fuck it tweet occasionally, that's fun too, right? That's fucking fun too. Whatever it is, maybe it's the newest collab, you know, that they have cooking. That's dope. That's cool. Maybe it's the newest merch that. Whatever, we're finally getting our artifact shoes. Remember the MFers from like 3 years ago? Damn, I wish.
And now they're fucking GG too. Shit.
Well, I don't know what to think about them either. But my thing is, it's just attention, and some of this is, I mean, obviously, again, shout out to Illa because that dude, I see him in like every space all the time. Shout out to Illa. I know Baron's been making his rounds with spaces. I'd love to see Baron continue to be more active because like that, I think that's a place that he can shine, to be honest with you. And so like, I think that's his role and he needs to go flex on that because that's what we're missing. Like we're missing that like spokesperson, to be honest with you. That's what they need. They need like the hype man, not to hype shit up that's unattainable, but to like fucking ride and bleed the fucking Bored Ape Yacht Club and just be out there and helping, you know, educate people and welcome people and being positive and being straightforward and all of that is true. But they need like a what do I want to say? What is it when holy shit, the easiest thing ever? Mascot. You need like a mascot, a human mascot that's out there and just fucking grinding it for Bored Ape that's on the team. Because I think that just helps. It helps sentiment. It just does. Like I don't care who you are. Now again, is there always going to be a shit ton of people that just want apes to go to zero? 1,000,000%. If you just found that out, welcome to the last 3 years. That shit's never going to end. Like that will never end, and you're not going to convince those type of people anything different. But because we've been semi on the negative to like maybe not negative, just constructive criticism. That's all we've been. I don't think we've been negative. I do want to say one of the positives, one of the things that is absolutely been a great addition, and it's been a community driven thing. The Welcome Apes thing is an A+ thing. And the biggest thing is, yeah, the tweets are cool. The retweets are awesome. All that's dope. You got to go into one of those Welcome Ape spaces at some point because that legitimately, I think I was in there maybe last week or the week before, fired me up. I'm not even shitting you. Hearing people. No, yeah. I mean, it wasn't that, but it should have been. No, it was just these people that like, you know, they've been in the space for a minute and they really just wanted a mutant ape or maybe they traded up to a Bored Ape and you know, these are builders, these are collectors and like, and they didn't have to say that shit. It wasn't like a cap situation. It was just like, yo, you know, I'm a builder, I'm an artist, whatever it was. And it's like, I've really always, you know, appreciated the apes and that is that's a fucking home run. Those spaces every Wednesday, shout out to the whole Welcome Apes freaking fam. Like, dude, for real. Tip of the cap.
Honestly, we're kind of in like the perfect spot right now for apes. Obviously, like price-wise is not ideal, but it's one of those like for the people that have been building in crypto for a while and like grinding, I would say like, you know, 10, 15 ETH isn't like super unrealistic.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a cheap enough to where, you know, there's enough people that can come in and enter, but it's not like when apes were 200K and it was like a dime a dozen, or people were literally just buying it for like the flip aspect. For sure. Versus just like you know, I'm buying this, you know, PFP to be a member in the club.
And I'll touch on this real quick, Chris, and then I'd love, you know, Will to jump into. No, we love Jeff here. We've had Jeff. We've talked to Jeff. I've interviewed Jeff. Jeff's dope. And I definitely agree, put some time and stamp on things, but the clock still moves, if that makes any sense. Like the timer is always going forward. And so at some point, and this is not a slam at anybody, it's just a reality of life. The time keeps coming off the clock. And so it doesn't have to be fuck it tweets every month. It doesn't have to be that at all. But you got to actually see it continue to move down the road. If you hear these things are going to do, and then you hear nothing for 6 months, well, guess what? The time kept moving forward, and you did nothing about it to like keep us interested. So now you're lost.
And they were pretty clear on what they would be telling us out of
100%.
BAYC LLC last board meeting, right?
Yeah.
We're getting Clubhouse, we're getting Ape Fest, we're getting collabs, we're getting merch,
and
what
MBA.
and NBA.
I think a lift
No
up
roadmap.
MBA. A lift up on the MBA, which I'm interested to see what that. Again, that's nothing to do with floor price, but I think there is some power there where they could do some cool collab type things and people that want to build businesses. So we'll see. Like again, we like the Yuga team. That's actually why we're not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I was thinking about this earlier, right? I'm like, currently, I'm not bullish Yuga, but I'm bullish on Yuga getting their shit together. Like, I'm bullish on them, like, turning the page from here and like taking it on the chin and coming back stronger.
Yeah, I think my realization is like they realized, right, that things were not cooking the way they needed to. And just with that, like being able to have like that kind of clarity that it's going to take a while. I feel like that is kind of where it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in like standby mode, like I love my ape. It's not going anywhere.
My first ever NFT.
I had other exposure and I got out of it. I was like, you know what, there's just so much stuff to just wait on. And I really just want to see Yuga like put some W's under their belt, like massive W's, not like, what am I trying to say?
What would a massive W be?
Dude, like if they can get Dookie Dash in the pocket of 1 million people, and let's just say something crazy, like maybe it happens in less than like 3 months. Is that bullish, bearish? I don't know. I have
no clue.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
They do it in some kind of metric that's
Sure,
like, holy shit, you just lit fire. You just struck a match next to gasoline and it blew up. Like that's kind of like, that would be a massive W, right? Like I just want to see a massive W for them, because it's like we have W's, but we also have L's. And so it's just like, as long as they kind of are the same size, same ballpark, they're going to just weigh the same or less. The W's weigh less. The L's weigh a lot more. And it's just like, until there's like some massive amount of confidence instilled into the space as a whole that Yuga is cooking and it's Yuga season. Like maybe that's a better way to put it. In the near term, it's not Yuga season. I don't see it. There's nothing Yuga season-y about like what is happening. And it's like, I feel like we started to feel like it was going to be Yuga season because they came out at the very beginning of the year and cranked out announcements. Since then, we've had kind of like some flailing going on. LOTM hasn't gotten its shit together. Amps. We were supposed to have already claimed amps by now. We were supposed to have already, been maybe exploring our heavy metals, right? And we just got the teaser for it. And so it's like one of those things. It's like, okay, I mean, you started off so fucking strong and you tried to say like, boom, 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 back to basics. We're doing all this shit. Boom. Like, right? Like they know how to make noise and they know how to like, make MFers sit back down. But like, it just kind of like, they pumped it up and then they just were like, oh, okay, we're going to.
It's like they almost need to like be quiet for the next few months and like cook some like really dope shit and let everybody else.
Dude, I think they've already been quiet, my brother in Christ.
I mean, they've been active lately. Are you kidding me? We've had board meetings. We've had, the apes come home. We've had, all their little articles and stuff they've they've been, releasing stuff, trying to be more vocal on like, here's what we're doing. But it's almost one of those, like, anything that they put out now is just going to continue to be shat on. So they almost need to like kind of fade into irrelevance for a little bit and then come out with like, oh, hey, yeah, we're still here. This is what we're doing. Like, this is, fuck it, Mutant Saturday type shit. Like, let the attention go everywhere else while everybody else's attention is somewhere else. And then like bring it all back in when you're ready, rather than like flailing around making, big statements and large jabs at things. Just
I think they need to keep communicating personally, but it doesn't have to be.
I mean, maybe some of the communication, but maybe
because I think that's what a large majority of ape holders want is just something. Because we've had the nothing thing a few different times. I would agree that maybe I won't. I don't know. How do I say this? Because I think with like Otherside, we want to see the progression too, right? Like we want to be able to go in there and test out some new shit and that might not be like massive movers, etc. We need like 5 fucking yeah. And then Gordon just shows up naked on the timeline, and then we fucking go to Valhalla. No, I think you're right. It's a tough spot too. At the end of the day, some of these things I think that we've said in this episode today are easy dubs. Like just put a fucking camera up and push record all the time when you're doing this cool shit and building the fucking games and doing Otherside and talking about the clubhouse and like scoping out venues. You don't have to tell us where. You can if you showed tiny little fucking clips.
If Jeff had put out some like banger teasers where you literally had no idea where he was.
Yeah.
But he was just literally you could just see like the excitement of him in the moment, like finding out about the redacted location for Ape Fest. Like that shit would cook.
Yeah. When you have it where like, I'm envisioning it now. It's like one of those episodes where like everybody's sitting around the table and they're like, hey, we really feel good about this location. And it's like, blah, and it's just beeped out in the video, but you still see everybody like, reaction, right?
Like the straight up, you bleep it. Right.
I just like, man, I'm excited about this thing that's not even real. You know what I mean? Like this is not even a real thing, and I'm getting excited like it is real. So just imagine had they dropped something like that. Just imagine if they would do that occasionally throughout the process where, again, you blur shit out. I don't need them sharing secret sauce. That has nothing to do with it. But like, let's say they have a partnership with whoever. I'll just say BMW again. They do another cool collab with BMW, right? But after it is announced, you're able to right after that drop the behind the scenes of how that collaboration came together. You know how fucking hard that would slap? Like, and you have them talking to these BMW executives and after you've announced it. So it's not like you're not giving shit away now, but now you're going back and showing like, hey, this is what the fuck, this is how we cooked it up. Like, I don't know.
This is an interesting one. I mean, I definitely agree. And it's why I haven't like cut my Otherside exposure. But being that it is the bull market and things are clearly heating up real quick, and it was like a very quick transition to being heated up, you got to weigh the opportunity costs of sitting on massive bags for months that you could potentially dip out of for a month and then re-enter. So I don't know. I agree. There, like you look at like fucking Codas and like we're almost to the point where Codas are at like 1 ETH, and it's going to push down the price of Catalyst to where they're essentially free plus gas. And like at that point is when you buy.
There you go. Financial advice and
free plus gas.
Yes.
No, but I mean, like, in reality, though, it's like because there wasn't the ability to like mint. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot sometimes, but like there was no like we dropped stuff and there's like no utility for it. No, not utility. Okay, God gracious, but like no information about like what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't clear at all that you needed 60 ship parts.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely wasn't clear to the devs that it was going to cost 5 times the amount to buy the ship parts in gas, to buy 60 ship parts. So I don't know. I'm just rambling at this fucking point. I'm like,
no, it's fair.
That's all.
I think at the end of the day, definitely need to stack some dubs, get back to that foundational, just like, fun. Like, to be honest, at the end of the day, that's what it was. It's just really fun. And right now it doesn't feel as fun. And of course, some of this is floor price, etc. But we'll see.
Here's the kicker. If it erupts, the Blur Farmers dump. Hurrah!
Yeah. Yippee. I mean, we already saw that with the Zuki, right? Token announcement. We ran up to almost 6 ETH, and then the Blur farmer said, "Psych, you're going right back down to sub 5."
I mean, none of that's surprising, right? Like it's
No.
kind of expected at this point.
Not overly, but
I think
at least,
I think for all of these collections, though, at the end of the day, like all collections, we'll put them all together. All the Azuki's doing some dope ass shit for sure. Like I'm considering getting into the fucking garden. I'm 100% considering that. I never had before.
Ikuzo.
Fucking Pudgy's doing some dope shit. There's other seals doing some dope shit. There's others I'm not saying. I'm just forgetting. But we need more new motherfuckers that actually want to come and do that too. It can't be the same fucking however many of us that are here. Like, let's just be honest. Like, there's still like the amount that we've expanded for people that want to hold NFTs has not been like this massive expansion over the last year-ish, right? And so, like, do I know that's coming for sure? No, I don't know that's coming for sure. Do I believe it will at some point because some of these things just smash, like the anime, for Azuki just fucking hits hard, and then all of a sudden you get 1,000, can you imagine just 1,000 motherfuckers that are like, dude, I want to get a fucking Azuki. All it takes is literally 1,000 people needing these collections,
right?
Which is nothing, by the way.
You get the massive inflow of like demand, and that's I'm blurring thoughts here, but demand would overcome Blur.
Yeah, I agree with that, right? Like if there was simply a lot of demand.
That's why Pudgies are still 10 to 12 ETH or whatever the hell they're at right now.
Yeah.
Right. Pudgies ran up, and guess
they
what?
Went from 3. They went from 3 and they're sitting at 13. If there was not demand, they would not be where they're at today.
Mm-hmm.
Because Blur would have already made them inflate and deflate just as quickly as the inflation happened. But it was like, because of Blur, they got to overextend, would be kind of what I think happened there, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about it previously. Demand came in, farmers came in, people took high APY loans, et cetera, but you mix that with enough organic buying, demand, fuck, I need a Pudgy, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, they run to 20 ETH. And then, like, of course, they're going to retrace because those loans have to, unwind. Mm-hmm. There isn't enough hype to sustain, we might get random airdrops from random times, so just hold, right? Like, that doesn't work for everybody, right? Yeah. So that's why they came back down to earth, right? So I don't know. I was going to say something else too, but I forgot. We're full of that right now. No, it's like back-to-back days of like little to no sleep.
No, you're good.
My brain is just mush right now.
I agree. Here is the Dookie Dash. That could be one of those things too. Now, do I think everyone that plays Dookie Dash is all of a sudden thinking, I need to go spend 13 ETH on a Bored Ape? No, I don't think that. But if it becomes this, like, really is a lot of people playing it, you will get some. Again, we're talking small. If you get 50 to 100 new buyers of any of these, even just 50 to 100, I'm not saying it goes parabolic, but all of a sudden you take 100 more off the table of people that actually want to be here because whatever, they like the anime, they like the game, they explore the community, whatever that may be. They see the toys in Walmart. Dog, it can move really fucking fast with not that many new people. I just think we haven't gotten to that point yet where there's a lot of like, or even 500 new people that are like, hey, I want a fucking Pudgy Penguin. Hey, I want a seal. I think that's where we'll see if it happens or not. And that, to be honest, there's no guarantee there. So we'll fucking see. At the end of the day, we'll fucking see. Hey, this is a great way to wrap this fucking show. Let's fucking go, baby. Just got a catalyst. They're gonna be worth gas plus nothing, according to Will soon. So here we go, baby.
No, I mean you could have gotten one from a loot box or a master chest or something.
He did.
That's like
surely that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay, fine. I gotta go here. Yeah, I think whitelist thing is interesting. That was more from outside people just giving it to apes. I was never like Yuga, like going and like reaching out to them.
So
the partnerships, though, I do believe that is something that you can look forward to. I think they've always had like good partnerships.
But man, if sentiment changes on the timeline and people aren't like, oh, I love the Bored Apes, like, are these companies really going to want to come and collab with us?
Sure. They already have
that aspect as well. But we'll see.
Hopefully. Who do we even want to collab with other than Lululemon?
Lululemon, for the dough.
Dude, if I go another year without dry fit merch, you will see my ape on the floor.
My guy, dry fit merch. God bless him.
Give me my dry fit. No.
Well, anywho, this is a good conversation, a little bit different than we typically have, but I think it was needed just because the interesting, maybe ish. It's just interesting because we do want them to be more on the fucking timeline at the end of the day. And we don't typically talk about these things. We typically talk about, all the things that we're looking forward to. And we didn't even get to NFT NYC. I think it's cool that there's some sub communities doing different events here over the next week. And obviously into NFT NYC, it's kind of weird to not, again, you think about 2 years ago when we were all there lining up for Ape Fest. And that was the only reason we're going to New York. So it's definitely interesting. Okay, we got a question. Grailed, when more love for Grailed? Keegan, we'll have to have you come on and talk about Grailed sometime.
Yeah, I don't know.
What company brands you'd like to see partner with? Lululemon.
All I said was Lululemon or Vuori. All I want is dry fit merch because I live in Texas where it's hot as crap and I can't wear hoodies.
That's true.
90% of the year.
Hot as shit. I don't know. Like, I think there's, I'm a fucking boomer. Like, Lululemon's cool. Like, that would be dope. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's some of these, I like the street brand thing like they tried to do at the beginning. Like, I honestly do. And it's not because I'm fucking dude that I'm not that person per se, but I actually thought that was a really cool angle. So other neat, like the Bobby Hundreds, I'd love them to collab with them again.
Bro, I met up with a bunch of like the Houston apes this weekend. There was like 6 or 7 of us. And we were talking about like, BAYC should just be like a fashion kind of the Web3 Supreme, right? I mean, that's what like a lot of us bought into apes for was like the whole exclusivity. It's a dope streetwear brand. And it's like, all we have is merch for holders. Like, when are we going to start having some like open designs for everybody to come and like cop a BAYC 6 skull shirt?
They definitely did that with the Bape stuff. That was still very limited, of course, but
and it was like collabby, right? Like,
yeah.
Obviously, they don't need to have like all their designs like open for everybody, but I think they could have some like sick designs that people would come and be like, "Yo, I want that shirt. Like, that looks sick."
I mean, the skull itself is iconic. If they put that really cool on a shirt, I think it would hit. But for real, let's fucking wrap it. It's been a good conversation. Again, we're open to DMs. If you want to come on the show, shoot your shit at some point with us. We'd love to have guests on. We've had a bunch in the past. And we might start bringing people on as well. I kind of miss talking to other people and shooting the shit with what they're building, et cetera. And maybe we got to bring back Mint, Mary Byrne. That's actually what brings back the real Bored Ape bull market is when we start theoretically, hypothetically, burning apes on Bored T. But with that, Bryce, any last thoughts?
Stay bored.
That's great. Will.
Earn Blast Gold.
Earn Blast Gold, stay bored.
Hey, there we go. Hey, again, we appreciate y'all for dropping by. Please remember to like, subscribe on YouTube, on Twitch. Make sure you follow us on X. DM us, like us, retweet us. Hey, stay bored. We out.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa. I hit recorded, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, Vintage frames on my face, looking like I'm from the D. D's no Cartier.